Lady with the Green Skin, and Do You Know Your Uncle Sam? Unit 14, Lesson 5. The Statue of Liberty has stood tall over New York Harbor for more than a century, welcoming immigrants to the United States. Although Lady Liberty has undergone repairs from time to time to keep her in good condition, no one has dared to remove the green that covers her once brightly colored copper skin. In 1871, a French sculptor, Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, traveled to the United States to promote interest in a statue commemorating 100 years of American independence. Bartholdi and other French citizens were great admirers of American democracy and wanted to present the statue as a gift from the people of France to the people of the United States. Just as his ship entered New York Harbor, Bartholdi had a vision of a grand monument with a glowing torch welcoming voyagers to America. 7 spokes in the lady's crown depicted the world's 7 seas and continents. Bartholdi planned to build a Lady Liberty in Paris, France, then move her across the Atlantic Ocean to America. At that time, large statues were constructed of stone, bronze, or cast iron, which made them too heavy to transport. So Bartholdi and the engineers working on the statue decided to give the lady a copper skin over an iron skeleton. They believed that the lightweight copper could withstand New York Harbor's harsh winds and salt sea air, as long as it was supported by a strong frame. In a specially built Paris workshop, artisans perfected the statue's form by making several plaster models from Bartholdi's sketches. Each plaster model was bigger than the last. The biggest was full-size, 151 feet 1 inch tall. This model was divided into 300 sections. Carpenters made wooden molds from each section, and metal craftsmen hammered shiny copper sheets into the molds. The copper was the kind used today in craft projects, except the sheets were much larger and at 3/32 of an inch, about the thickness of a pizza crust. The artisans shaped the copper to create the folds of Lady Liberty's gown, her facial features, and even the law book inscribed 4th July 1776. Alexander Gustave Eiffel, designer of the Eiffel Tower, engineered the statue's iron skeleton. 4 iron posts formed the skeleton's center, with space inside for stairways. What looked like a spiderweb of iron bars contoured to the statue's final form hung around the center. After each piece of her copper skin was hammered into shape, craftsmen attached it to the iron web. Shiny like a new penny, Lady Liberty steadily grew on a platform outside the workshop. She received visitors in Paris for almost a year before workers dismantled her, numbering each part. On the day she emigrated, a 70-car train carried 214 oddly shaped crates from Paris to a ship bound for America. Reassembling Lady Liberty atop a 154-foot high pedestal on Bedloe's Island in New York Harbor was like putting together a colossal jigsaw puzzle. Hundreds of thousands of rivets were needed to attach the 300 pieces of copper skin to the iron web. Asbestos insulation was placed between the skin and the iron ribs wherever the 2 metals met. Eiffel feared that, without insulation, the statue might become a giant electric battery, shocking visitors. In 1886, 15 years after Bartholdi's first trip to the United States, President Cleveland unveiled the Statue of Liberty exactly where the sculptor had envisioned her. Mounted on her pedestal, she rose 305 feet above the harbor, nearly as high as a football field standing on end. By that time, her shiny copper skin had turned the dull brown color of an old penny. At the turn of the century, her skin was streaked with black and green, which gradually changed to the blue-green patina she wears today. Patina is a crust that forms when a copper surface is attacked by elements in the atmosphere and combines with them. Metropolitan New York's humidity, snow, rain, and industrial pollution all reacted with the statue's skin. If you've ever uncovered a penny buried in the ground for a long time, you've probably noticed its crusty, pale green edges, or patina. Like the penny, Lady Liberty responded to the environment's bullying with a trick from Mother Nature. Once the patina had spread over her entire copper skin, She was protected from further environmental damage. Between 1981 and 1986, Lady Liberty got a complete makeover. A new steel alloy web replaced her badly corroded iron web. A glass elevator was installed. Electrical engineers even devised a new lighting system. However, polishing her skin to its original bright copper would have decreased its thickness and shortened her life. So throughout Restoration, Lady Liberty was allowed to keep her patina cloak. Now, scientists expect she'll survive 1,000 years. Although many people work to restore the statue to full glory, Lady Liberty today stands proudly protected in a green patina cloak, one she made all by herself. And the next article, do you know your Uncle Sam? Every citizen of the United States shares the same Uncle Sam. He isn't a flesh and blood relative, but you are politically related to him. Uncle Sam is the national symbol of our country. However, it wasn't always that way. Back in the early 1800s, we had no national symbol for the United States. People simply went about their everyday business. That's what Samuel Wilson did. He was the owner of a large meat packing business in the town of Troy, New York. Samuel Wilson was tall, slim, and had a long white beard. By all reports, a kind and gracious gentleman, Wilson was fondly called Uncle Sam by his many nephews and nieces. Before long, friends and acquaintances were also calling him Uncle Sam. He tended to remind people of their own kindly uncles. Then the War of 1812 started. The United States had wanted to sail its trade ships across the ocean without paying fees, but Great Britain insisted otherwise. On the 18th of June, 1812, the U.S. Congress declared war against Great Britain. 2 days before the war began, the British foreign minister had announced a repeal of the shipping laws, which were the main reason for fighting. However, communication was so low and erratic in those days that the announcement of this repeal didn't reach America in time to prevent the war. In the war effort, Uncle Sam Wilson was commissioned to supply barrels of preserved beef for the United States troops. Uncle Sam began stamping the meat barrels he shipped with the initials U.S., which took less ink than stamping the entire words United States. Not everyone was familiar with the U.S. insignia. The troops asked what the initials meant. They were laughingly told by the quartermaster that they stood for Uncle Sam, referring to the beef supplier, Samuel Wilson. Someone even coined the following phrase, Uncle Sam, he feeds the army. Eventually, Samuel Wilson's nickname, Uncle Sam, and the initials U.S. both came to stand for the United States government. Most older people recognize the political Uncle Sam from the World War I recruiting poster designed by James Montgomery Flagg. This poster, displayed throughout the nation from 1914 to 1918, showed Uncle Sam looking solemn and pointing a long, bony finger at every passerby. Above his picture was printed in bold lettering, I want you. Uncle Sam wanted everyone to participate in the U.S. war effort, either by joining the Army or by buying U.S. war bonds. Congress adopted Uncle Sam as our national symbol in 1961 and passed a resolution naming Samuel Wilson as the person who inspired the symbol. As an uncle who was able to unite and inspire his family of fellow Americans, Uncle Sam is truly every American's national symbol.